Let me tell you a story. Back in middle school and high school, I was an insecure bitch. I would never talk to girls in person. I was a shy kid who hid behind his phone and only talked to girls through Snapchat or Instagram. Whenever I tried to talk to that attractive girl who I thought was out of my league, I started to put so much pressure on myself and I started to doubt myself. I would always think, oh, she wouldn't like someone like me. Or I better not mess up or say something wrong. This doubt filled me with anxiety just because I didn't want to mess up and look like a loser. That's why I avoided talking to girls in person, because I was afraid of the judgment. But truthfully, avoiding the rejection and the judgment is true loser behavior. So, what did I do to change? What did I do to overcome this fear of rejection and judgment so I can ask that attractive girl in person? Here are the 4 tricks I use to ask that attractive girl out. The first trick is that you have to live life without regrets. A saying that I like to remind myself time over time is that, do I want to live a life with regrets? Do I want to be that old man who says, man, I should have done this when I was younger? Hell no. I want to live with the peace of mind that I did everything that I could. I know we all had times like this where we should have started a project earlier or that homework earlier and we shouldn't have procrastinated. I don't want to live a life of should-haves, nor should you. There were many moments in my life where I should have asked that girl out in person or at least ask her out in general. But instead, I've been that wimpy loser who was scared to send that text or ask her out in person or even ask for her number. The point is that you have to ask her out, especially in person. It's better to know the answer than just guess or just dwell on like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done this. What if she rejects me? And guess what? If she rejects you, so what? Who cares? At least you know the answer so you can move on. Shoot the shot. You only get results when you try. The second trick is to ask her out in person and know when and where to go. Like I said before, I was terrible with talking to attractive women in person. I wasn't manly enough to have that conversation in person or even have a normal conversation. I didn't have the balls to ask her out or ask for her number. I was a scared little boy who couldn't handle rejection, or I was afraid of being judged. Take the fear that you have, grab it by the balls, and throw it off the balcony. When you have that conversation in person, your chance of success increases. Why? It's more intimate, and she can experience your charisma. She sees your smile, your tone, and your ability to get her talking more. So once you get her number or you ask her out on a date, know when and where to go. Recommend a place, a time, and a date to continue this conversation or have that date. And this can be a hybrid option where you get her number to then schedule that date over text. But she should know that you're getting her number in order to communicate to schedule that date. When you're scheduling that date, you have to lead it. Do not let her decide where to go. You get to be in your masculine energy when you lead. And for dates, pick an interactive date like mini golf, ice skating, or an arcade, or even an escape room. Anyways, the main point is that you should shoot your shot in person because your chances of success is high. The third point is that you have to be confident in your voice. You don't want to sound scared. I get it. You're nervous. You're scared to talk to her. I used to be like this back in the day when I didn't know what to say. And when I didn't know what to say, I had a higher tone of my voice and I was rushing through my words. Whenever I talked to people or even women, I wouldn't enunciate my words. I would mumble. I wouldn't enunciate very well. I would speak quickly and my tonality was high. I would also filter my words just because I didn't want to piss off the other person. And guess what? I looked scared and unconfident, which women don't like. Women want men who are confident in themselves. So instead of worrying about rejection and judgment, focus on projection and tonality. When you meet her, for example, say, "Hi, my name is Kensei. What's your name?" And when you flirt, you can say, "I like your style. Where did you get that inspiration from?" You could also do a playful roast, but that's a little harder when you first meet her because she might see that as an attack. When you leave, say, "I have to get going. It was nice meeting you and talking to you, Kara. What's your number?" Now let's say you said all of these in an unconfident tone. Which one sounds better? "Hi, my name is Kensei. What's your name?" Or, "I really like your style. Where do you get that inspiration from?" Or you say, "Hi, I have to get going. It was nice meeting you with you, Kara. I hope, what's your number? Now, which one sounds better? The one that has more slow, confident tone, or the one that's more rushed and scared? She'll trust the guy who sounds more confident. So focus on tonality, pacing, and projection with your voice, because this will increase your chances of success when you ask her out. The last trick, which I think is a no-brainer, but you have to keep practicing. You can learn all of these tactics, but it's useless if you don't practice them. I had to get out of my comfort zone by talking to a bunch of women in person. Of course, I was scared and nervous initially, but it took some time, it took practice. And honestly, I asked out a lot of girls in person in middle school, but in high school, my growth stunted a little bit until my senior year when I stopped caring about what other people thought. The point is that it gets easier the more that you do it. It's like riding a bike or swimming. You know, for me, it took a lot more time, but it started to feel easier because I was like, okay, I did this thing which wasn't good. I can focus on my tonality more. I can focus on my pacing more. I can greet this way. I can do it this way. It gets easier and better when you evaluate yourself and improve yourself upon it. And looking back, it was a very awkward interaction the first time I did it. It was awkward and I was hella nervous and scared, but I did it. You know, I was quiet. I had low charisma. I didn't have experience with this because I felt like I couldn't pull it off. And of course, I got rejected because I didn't have that good charisma and I didn't have anything to offer. And I get it. Rejection sucks, but it gets easier. You get used to it. Who cares if you get rejected? It only hurts for a little bit and it might be awkward, but move on. Like the previous points, it's better to shoot your shot than be the one on the bench. Now, you don't have to be too crazy by asking out hundreds of girls just to practice. You can start small. Instead of having the objective to ask her for a number or asking her out, just try to have a normal conversation. You know, women are just normal human beings with different body parts. And I know men today have the fear of talking to women, so having the goal just to meet them and greet them and be friends with them is the first step. Instead of having the goal to just, oh, I want to ask her out, I want her number. In order to overcome that fear of just talking in general, just talk to many women in a friendly manner. You know, treat them like a friend. It gets easier and easier. And you start to become more riskier and you start to roast flirt along the way. Once it feels easy, ask that attractive girl for her number. Then the next step is to ask her out in person. I suggest you to not wait for a long time between getting her number and asking her out, as that increases your chance of being in the friend zone. So talk to more women, ask them out or ask them for their number. You have to keep practicing in order to become better. Evaluate yourself, improve your speaking skills, add a little bit of flirting or roast flirting, and be confident in yourself. Speak with confidence. Practice it. It's just all about practicing and practicing. I have full confidence in you. Don't live a life of what ifs. Shoot your shot. You got this. Take care, bro. Go improve it. And if you haven't already, check out the latest video right here.